Peace. I hope to uncover that siyam song, which means to abstain, abstinence, does not mean you do not eat or drink during the daytime. Now, in proof, in proof 2:183. That would be what they call Surah 2, Ayat 183. God instructs Muhammad followers and to do siyam as the previous people did siyam before them, right? It's kutiba alaykum, right? That word kutiba, mandated, right? So it was. So we gotta see the previous people who came before them who did siyam. Is there any examples of that in the reading? There is actually two examples. One of it, the word siyam is mentioned in it, and the other one is not mentioned, but you can see the inference of what is going on there. Now, proof 19:26. God instructs Mary that when she sees anyone, the day she brought Jesus to the people, the first day she brought Jesus to the people, that she have vowed a song to God, that she won't have words with anyone that day, right? So that was her song, that was her siyam, that she did not speak to anyone, and that's the reason why she had to point to Jesus when they asked her, what have you done? So she pointed to Jesus. She wasn't talking, right? Now, in 1910, when the angels tell Zechariah about John the Baptist, he's gonna have a son John. He asked God for a proof, and God said, "Your proof is that you will not. Your proof is that you won't have words with people for 3 nights." 3 nights. So you see the connection of siyam is not speaking. But you could use signals, but you just can't use verbiage. Right? Now in 2:184, God instructs that siyam is for a number of days. But if they are sick or traveling, come on, cat. I'm making a video here. That's why. I'm making a video. You being too loud. Now, in 2:184, God instructs them that siyam is for a number of days. Right? But if they are sick or traveling, then other days. Right? So they had to do the days, right? So, the word ayamin ma'duda, this is plural. So this means that the minimum number of days will have to be 3. Right? Here, God does not state any number. There's no mention of any number here. It just says ayamin ma'duda. So that means that they will have to know, right? They know. I don't know, because God says we make clear the proof for people who know, right? So whoever's receiving this reading, this Quran, whoever's receiving this, they know what is being said in it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna know everything because I was not there. I don't speak Arabic. You know what I mean? I wasn't present. I'm just getting this. You know what I mean? Years and years and years later. But anyways, in proof 2:196. This is in the context of the Hajj, that if they had an ailment to their head, they would have to compensate by siyam, right? They had to do with siyam. And then later on, if you read later on in 196, it says that, and if they could not get an offering, then they had to do a siyam 3 days on the Hajj, right? And 7 days when they go back home, right? So God is giving you specific numbers here. The other one that you have to compensate with is siyam. The siyam could have been a minimum of the 3 days, maybe, right? So here you got exact numbers right there. Here, in 492, if one of Muhammad's followers accidentally kills a person and they can't find a slave that trusts a believing slave, right? You see the criteria, a believing slave to free, right? So if they accidentally kill somebody who was actually kill somebody, then they will have to free a believing slave, one who believed like them, right? But if they couldn't do that, then they had to do a siyam for 2 months in a row, right? So here you see how the siyam here is like, it's kind of like a punishment. Siyam is kind of like a punishment here for them in this instance. 589. If Muhammad's followers broke an oath and they couldn't do the first requirement, which was to free a slave, the other requirements, free a slave or whatever, then the recommended compensation as a last resort would be do siyam for 3 days, right? Now here, in 595, and if they deliberately kill game while they are, in the Hajj, then they will have, while they're being sanctioned, right, ihram, then they will have to get another one equal value, or they will have to feed needy people, or do a siyam equal to that offering, right? Let me see. Okay, here, in 58 proof, 58, 3 and 4, that if they estrange a woman, whatever issues they have with a woman, before they could, be with each other again, they will have to free a slave. If they couldn't free a slave, then they would have to siyam for 2 months in a row before they could be in contact with the spouse or woman again, right? Now we're going back to 2184, right? 2184. God states that if the siyam is too difficult for them, then they compensate by feeding a needy person. Right? For Amu Miskin, they got to feed the needy. Here's my question here. It doesn't say feed a needy mushrik, or feed a needy munafiq, or feed a needy Yahud, or feed a needy Nasara. It doesn't say anything about it, just say a needy person. So if this needy person is supposed to be fasting, why are you feeding them? There's no requirements for the person you have to feed. It say feed a needy person. So if the needy person is so-called Muslim and you're supposed to be fasting from eating and drinking, then why are you giving them something to eat and drink and they're supposed to not eat and drink? It doesn't make no sense. This is how I know the fasting does not deal with not eating and drinking. Because you have to, if you can't do the siyam, then you have to feed people. It doesn't give you a set of rules or a particular person you have to feed. Just say feed the needy, right? Feed the needy. Feed the needy. There's no requirement. There's no feed the idolater needy. Feed the Jew needy, the Jewish needy, or feed the Christian needy. It's just feed the needy, right? So boom, ponder and think on that hard, right? So you got to feed the needy people. And whoever volunteers good is good for them, and if you know CM is good for you. You do the CM would be good for you if you knew, right? So for them, and this is also time restricted. This is not for everyone to do once a year or whatever. This thing is time restricted for Muhammad's followers, for Muhammad and his followers, right? Now, I also want to say 33, proof 33, or what they call Surah 33, Ayat 35. It talks about the al-sa'imina wa al-sa'imati, right? The abstaining men and women, right? And if you look at that ayat, it gives certain qualities of a people, right? What Muslimina wa Muslimati, right? The surrendering, mu'minina wa mu'minati, the trusting, wa qanitina wal qanitat. You know what I mean? It keeps going on, and nowhere in that doesn't mention anyone who does salat. It talks about the person who do siyam, the person who remember God much, the person the one who protect their chastity, wal halifidina furujuhum wal halifidhat, right? You know what I'm talking about. But the abstaining people, right? Okay. Now here in 2:185, God states that the reading, the Quran, was supplied in Shahrul Ramadan, whatever that is. Because if you look in proof 9, where God talks about him and the messenger, the treaty has been broken. The treaty, the Polytheists broke the treaty. So God says, so you could roam around for 4 months, right? But when it's over, then go back to attacking them. That means that those are the 4 months of the Hajj, which was sanctioned, right? You couldn't do no fighting was in it. So that means that these 4 months is consecutively in a row. But if you look at the Muslim calendar, these 4 months are separated. It's true together that there's no sanctioned months. There's a sanctioned month and no sanctioned month and the sanctioned months. But in the reading, it's all collectively put together. So this tells me that Muslim calendar been changed around and shifted around the same way the Georgian calendar been shifted and changed around, right? So that means that nobody knows when this so-called Ramadan month of Ramadan is. Okay. Where was I at? Okay. So this Quran, this reading is guidance for the people, and clearly the guidance and the standard, the Furqan. Let's say whoever's shahid, whoever, this word here means present. Right, whoever's present during this month, right? Sawm it, right? Siyam it. Siyam that, right? So it says those who are shahidan minkum, from you. We are not from Muhammad's people, right? We are not from Muhammad's people. I'm not there to witness whatever, or to be present, or to witness whatever they was witnessing, or to be present at. I was not there, right? You know, and it goes again, you know, because it says if you're sick or traveling, because you're traveling, you're not present at the spot, right? Because in the Muslim religion, you could travel and you could still fast. But here it's saying if you're traveling, then you gotta do the CM on a different day, right? If you're traveling. So that means that if you're traveling, you're not present. So the minkum is only, it has to be, minkum means from them. So we are not included in the minkum. So this tells me that this siyam that they did is time restricted. Okay, and God wants ease for them and not hardship. And God wants them to complete the number, right? God wants them to complete the number and to exalt God for guiding them, and so that they will be grateful to God, right? For guiding them, right? Because we're not present with them while they are being guided. You know what I mean? So the reading is speaking from their perspective, not speaking from a future perspective. It's speaking from a perspective from that time period, right? If you read it, exalt God for guiding you, right? Now, in 2:187, God tells them they are allowed to be with their women on the night of the siyam, right? God pardoned them because they did something they wasn't supposed to do, right? They did something they wasn't supposed to do. So God, he reiterates that and allows them now to be with them and to seek what God had kutibat for them, meaning the siyam, right? And to seek what God had kutibat for them, which was this that's what the siyam is, right? It's the kutibat. So God says now, it says here now, it says, eat and drink till the white thread is clear from the black thread of the dawn, or fajr. Now the word fajr also deals with the private parts, right? It also means to burst forth, right? It also means dawn. Now here, why would God tell them to eat and drink if they already know and they already have been eating and drinking since they have been deceiving themselves by being with their spouses? Now God said you could do that on the night of the siyam, right? So God is telling me eat and drink until they can distinguish what we see the light of dawn from the blackness of the night. Why would God tell them that if they already knew that? Yeah, they already knew that. If they've already been fasting, they already knew that. Why would God have to tell them to eat and drink now at this time period? Because I know the word sharab is drink. It also means to absorb, inhale, to irrigate. You know what I'm saying? The word eat must have other meaning to it. It must mean like, I think consume or something like that. But like the word, when God says in the reading, taste the punishment, right? The word ta'amu means to eat, right? Taste the punishment. You can't take that word literally as eat. It will have to mean experience. Experience the punishment for what you did, right? So then God said, and then to complete the siyam to the night. But they cannot be with their women while they remain in the massages, whatever that is. I don't know if the masjid is the actual building, because in Muhammad it say massages. That's plural. That's 3 or more. So it means during Muhammad's time they had a whole bunch of masjids. I mean, according to the tradition, it was just Masjid Haram, and then the Masjid Nabawi, right? The Prophet Masjid, and then the Masjid Al-Aqsa, which is all three. They're in 3 different areas. So while you're in the massages, it can't be a physical building. I don't know what it is. God states that these are the limits of God. Hududullah, don't approach the limits, right? And then God makes clear the proof for the people, so that they will have taqwa. The whole purpose of siyam is taqwa. To have mindfulness of God, to be cautious of God, right? That's it. That's it. So if you go through these ayats, you will see that the siyam has nothing to do with not eating and drinking. Because if you have to feed someone, if it's too hard for you to do it, and you got to feed someone, there is no qualification on the person you got to feed. Just say feed the needy. So if the needy is supposed to be doing the siyam also, then that means that they can eat. So that means that the siyam is not eating and drinking or having sex or whatever. It is something else. Peace.